Hey everybody. If you watched my midweek video, then you know I've spent a lot of time learning languages, which gives me a interesting perspective on learning languages and the method in which I think is easiest to do them. So I'm going to give you Matt's 5 steps to learning a language. Step 1 is to start with the absolute basics: numbers, colors, and polite words and phrases. This will give you the ability to really get your foot in the door and start thinking about how that language sounds and how it feels in your head, and it gives you a good foundation for the rest of the language. Step 1.5, I'm going to say, is to learn to read your target language. So while step 1 helps you better listen and speak, learning to read the language will teach you how to read and write. Those are completely separate functions in the brain, and it's important to nurture both of them at their appropriate pace. So you're going to have to learn the script. If it's a language that already uses a Latin script and you're speaking English, you're probably speaking English as a first language, or at least as a second language if you're watching these videos, which means you use, most likely, a Latin script in your life. It's easier to learn those languages like French and German. You just have to keep in mind that they're not going to pronounce all the letters exactly the same. If you go to something like Czech first, I've had the opportunity to meet a Czech person and talk to them about their language. They do some weird things with what letters make what sounds, and you just have to be mindful of that not every word is going to be read exactly like in English. If you are learning Russian, you have to learn the Cyrillic, and that's not too hard. If you already know Greek alphabet from like fraternities and sororities and stuff, it's easier to learn the Cyrillic alphabet. If you're learning Chinese or Japanese, good luck. If you're thinking about learning Japanese, I commend you. It has 3 writing systems, and one of them is just Chinese letters, or I say letters, I should say kanji, I guess. There's really no other way to describe it. Picture words. And picture words, that's so difficult. I couldn't do that. That's step 1.5, but I mean, all of these steps are continuous. Step 2, focus on building vocabulary. Focus on cognates first. Words like chocolate, coffee, tea, those are going to be the same in a lot of languages. And then if you're speaking French, find the cognates that are the same with English or whatever language you're starting with. Every language in the world has languages that are related to it. So no matter what your starting point is, you're going to find words that are similar. Look at food, clothes, culture, verbs. Learn how to deal with verbs. As you're building your vocabulary, you're also going to need to be building your grammar and understanding how the language works within itself and how they form sentences and ideas and thoughts. And that will be confusing, and that will be frustrating at first, but once you find the patterns and start to do them, it will be a lot easier. Step 3 will make that even easier for you if you consume media in your target language. I'm talking music, I'm talking reading the news, I'm talking memes, Wikipedia. I follow a French meme page, and it makes me laugh every time, and I don't think it makes me laugh because it's funnier. I think it makes me laugh because I have to think about it more, which I don't know why that adds to someone else in the comments who reads memes in their second language. Let me know if they're funnier to you than memes in your first language. Doing these things will expose you better to listening and reading your target language, and that will be how you better develop your speaking and writing of that language. And A great thing that I do, I think it's great. Sorry, is reading Wikipedia, the front page of Wikipedia in whatever language you can imagine. They have Wikipedia pages for over.
I think the last number I saw was 200,000 languages.
Maybe that was 2,000. But either way, it's a great resource. Even like, I don't know, I couldn't imagine trying to learn a language that wouldn't have a front page of Wikipedia. But even Lingala, which is one of the native languages in Congo, has a Wikipedia front page. Most of it's in French, but there are articles typed up in Lingala, which is, how many speakers does that have? I'll put the number right here. Step 4, actively speak your target language. Actively think in your target language too. Best way to do this is to know a first language speaker, or have a pen pal or a Skype pal, and try to sharpen your ability. But at this point, you've already probably followed this, like steps 1 and 2. That'd be like first 2 years in school, right? Step 3, you're starting to get up there, right? And from my experience, taking 4 years in high school of a language, it wasn't until about the end of year 3 to year 4 that we started listening to music and looking at movies in the target language. And so that's about how long it should take you to get there. Now, more difficult languages will take more time. The FBI has like a whole list of like how hard each language is to learn from the vantage point of English. But after you've done all the first 3 steps, step 4, hopefully by then you know a first language speaker, and that's the best way to do it. Supportive friends and relatives are the next best thing that will put up with you walking around speaking a language they don't know and probably learning a few words themselves. Something I've done a lot is talk to myself in the target in whatever language I'm trying to focus on learning. And that's fine. Just remember that only perfect practice makes perfect. Be sure to not make assumptions. In step 5, be super patient. Learning a language is a long process. It's a hard thing to do, but nothing in life that's easy is really worth doing. So make sure that you, if you're learning a language and it takes you more than a year to be able to understand, maybe you're learning Japanese to watch anime. I would be shocked and awed if you could watch an anime in Japanese without a sub and understand what they're saying. But it will be so enriching after you work for years to be able to understand Japanese to watch an anime without needing a sub. Just as an example. Be patient. Learning a language is hard. Thank you for watching, Word Nerd. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled etymology videos next week. Have yourself a great day and a great week. Bye-bye.